Hello and welcome to the video, and today's video is going to be all about a new tent day. I don't think I've ever said that. I've had the Scarp one for about 15 years. I have bought another tent since I got the first one, and it was exactly the same. It was another Scarp one, but this new tent, ding ding, wee clue, it's not a Scarp. But anyway, as you can probably tell, it's getting a little bit dark. I need to get up here. I think again, as per usual, I might be pitching in the dark, but I'll reveal all later on. For now, I just need to get up the hill. But I'm doing a bit of vlogging while I'm walking, just because I don't have much time. But there's the mountain I'm going up, in the clag up there. But I don't know about you, it looks like there's a wee bit of brightness up there, which should be nice. So to give you a bit of context, there's been inversions for the last week. More about that later. But it's to break this weekend, and it's not forecast to be inversions tonight or tomorrow, but I've got a sneaky feeling we're going to be pretty close. And if we are and we're not above the cloud, I'll be really miffed, because I could have gone to a higher one. Ben Lawers actually is on the right, and it's a good few hundred metres higher, but it would take me a lot longer to get to the top of that. So I'm kind of doing a calculated risk. I've also still to get water. Anyway, could be pitching the new tent in the dark, and I'll go through the reasons behind getting the tent once I'm up there and once I'm in it probably, and what's happening to the old Scarp. Right, onwards we go. I'm back. I forgot to mention, I've had an awful time of it. So today, I've been up since the crack of dawn. I've been really busy with my work, flying down south, up at 4 AM. Anyway, up at 4 again this morning. I'm shattered. First thing that happened, I forgot my pin. I couldn't remember my pin when I was getting fuel, so that was embarrassing. And then when I went into Tesco's to get some food, Scotch eggs, I forgot my wallet. These things never happen to me. So the next thing, which is more related to this walk, is I've got my wee cap that I wear in the car on, because I've forgotten my beanie hat and my cap. Luckily the jackets I've got hoods, because it's to go down to about 2 degrees tonight. That's not including wind chill, so just hope I'm warm enough. Anyway, right, onwards. According to my watch, that sunset happening right now. And I'm going up here. It's really quite steep. It probably doesn't look that steep on the wee camera, but believe me, it's a steep pool. Hope it's not going to be too windy up there. Bonus would be if we get above the clouds, but I really don't think that's going to happen. I think the cloud layer would have to come down a little, but that can happen. It's happened to me quite a few times, especially as the sun fades and the air starts to cool. The dew point or condensation level drops, and I've seen me emerge above the cloud before. But yeah, it's a wee bit of a breeze as well. Forecast 15 mile an hour up to about, I don't know, 18, 19 mile an hour gusts, so I don't know. We shall see. But I need to try and stop here and get some water actually. So I'll do that. I don't know how many more bits the camera I'll manage, because I just want to get this tent up before it's pitch black. Oh, right, it's starting to get dark. The camera's probably compensating. But at this wee well, there's literally water coming straight out of the ground here. So a wee spring. Let's fill up here, and then it'll be straight up. I'm going to put another jacket on, because it's amazing. There's a wee bit of wind, and then all of a sudden I've gone from no wind and sweating to a wee breeze and absolutely freezing. So yeah, I'm going to regret not having my beanie hat, that's for sure. Let's get the filter out. I'll also get my head torch out now, so it's on. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be up here in the dark. Right, water. So I stocked up on my water, got my head torch on and started the final steep pull up to the summit of the Munro, which was just under 1100 metres. There wasn't much in the way of clear skies when I got there, and it was pretty blustery, so I set about trying to find a pitch after reaching the summit of the mountain. Oh, right, as you can probably see, we're at the summit, just over there, and as you can probably see, we're still in the Clag. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the tent up. I might actually time it to see how long it takes me. Disclaimer, which I'll come on to later on, is I have set this tent up before. I'll come on to explain the ins and outs of that in a wee while. But stopwatch is starting now. Right, let's see how long it takes. I didn't push myself to try and rush getting the tent up. I just took my time. As I said, I've only done it 2 or 3 times before, so I just, yeah, in the dark, mind you, yeah, got the tent, pegs out and tent up, and after a wee bit of time I had an erect tent. Right. Nearly 15 minutes it's taken me. So significantly longer than I'm used to, but then I've only pitched, as I said, I've only pitched it a few times, but tell you what, it's a lovely looking tent, I think, and solid as a rock. Yeah, right, let's get sorted. Right, I'm in the tent, and it is a QU Stormstar. I don't know what's written down there somewhere. Yeah. I'll show you around. Let me just spin you around. Oh, it's quite spacious in comparison to my Scarp, and I do like it being quite tight. Lots of pockets there. Got my phone in there, microphone in there. There's like a washing line up here, which I've just got my lantern hanging from. The doors do have a mesh in her. Let me just see. You can open it and there's still mesh there, so you can. I've been doing that actually to let some air flow through. There is some vents up here which can be used as well. Get in close to that. Keep the warmth in. But yeah, it's quite a big tent, and it seems to be really good, and it's quite breezy out there, and it's, you know, everyone says it's a quiet one. Why did I buy this? So I bought it because in the recommendation of Andrew, if you watched last week's video, but I'll come on to that a bit later on. But yeah, I really like it. It's almost like a limpet, isn't it? When you see it from outside, it just seems to be stuck to the ground. I do need some advice. So there's a couple of panels I can't seem to get as tight as the others. The sort of door panels seem to be a wee bit loose, so it is making a small rattle there, but I'm sure I'll figure that out. As I said, I've only pitched it 3 times, so I'll come back to that as well. But I just thought I'd give you a wee tour inside, and so you can see what like it is. It's quite spacious. It's a 2-man tent actually. You can fit 2 in here, so I do like it. Anyway, I'll bring you back later. Well, it's a bit damp and dank out there, unfortunately. No starry skies or anything like that. So I'm really pleased with the tent. It's huge inside, really roomy, solid, really solid. Really impressed with it. And full disclosure, this is actually my 2nd trip in it, but the first trip, which I'll put some footage up just now of, is epic, absolutely epic. But it was a 3-day adventure, and it's going to take me weeks and weeks to edit that one. So this one will be out first of all, will be Christmas time before that one's out, but my god, that was some trip. And it performed really well. There were some gusty winds on the first night in that trip, and up here it's not, it's 15 mile an hour winds, maybe 20. It's cold. Anyway, So why did I choose this? Well, I did a wee bit of research and I just wanted to move away, try something different from what I've been used to and just see what it was like. It is heavier than what I'm used to, but yeah, and that doesn't bother me too much because I've talked about this before. The amount of camera gear that I carry, it'd just be a joke to say that I was going lightweight. So yeah, I did a bit of research and I met Andrew Park. So if you look at Andrew Park Outdoors, I think his channel's called, he's reviewed literally hundreds of tents. I think when I met him last week he said he'd done about 180, which is amazing. And this is a tent that he's tried, I think 6 months ago, a year ago, and he's kept. He's not sort of sold it on, which tells me a lot actually. Tells me probably more than I need to know. I did look at the Vern and the North Tent ones, they look amazing as well, but I don't know, I think this is maybe slightly older, and I just haven't seen a bad review about it really, so I thought I'd give it a go, and so far so good. I will probably do some more videos on it. I'm not going to turn into a gear review channel, don't worry about that, but I will probably give you more feedback on it. There's a few things that I need to sort of get my head round and sort out, but yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's I'm very, very impressed, and I think it looks cool as well. Anyway, I'll bring you back in the morning, hopefully when there's a bit more light. It's just a shame it's claggy, and let's hope that the clag isn't there. But I'm going to get into my sleeping bag now because, as I said, it is pretty cold. We'll see you in the morning. Oh, good morning. And yeah, had a good night's sleep, really good night's sleep. It was quite gusty at times, but it's a different sound this tent makes. It's a lot less windy or a lot less noisy. Anyway, I've got an interesting story to tell you about last night. It involves Australia, the police, mountain rescue, and my wife. But for now, I thought I'd just let me just put my head torch on. I'll come back to you. Right, sorry about this. I'll probably be do that. There we go. Yeah, so I'll just give you a quick idea of what I'm in. Because the temperature's down to like 2 degrees, probably colder than that with the wind chill. I've got my Rabascent winter bag. I've actually just got my summer sleeping pad, and because I didn't have my beanie hat, I slept in my hooded top, which is fine. I actually washed this for the second or third time, this Rabascent. I don't have a tumble dryer, and it dried okay. It took 3 or 4 days to dry. So what I do is I put it on a low sort of wool wash and turn it inside out, put it in, and then I dry it. I put it flat in my dry room, and it does take a few days, and you have to sort of go around breaking the clumps of down up, but it seems to have worked all right. It seems to be fine. Anyway, coffee is on. Let's have a coffee and see if we get a view when the sun comes up. Unlikely. Spoiler alert. Right, more about mountain rescue and Australia and all that sort of stuff once I get up. Well, as you can probably see, the cloud is still up around the summit. Yeah, it's pretty manky. Sunrise is in about 3 minutes time, so don't be expecting much. Anyway, what was I talking about when I said I had an eventful last night? Well, let me tell you. So I was on I was just on my phone last night. There's quite a good signal up here, and just making sure there's a wee bit of water on the tent from the mist, obviously. But anyway, got a good signal up here because I'm on top of the mountain. And my sister phones me from Australia, This has nothing to do with the police or the mountain rescue, by the way, but it's about, I don't know, 9:30, 10ish at night, and I'm on the phone to her and I see that my wife's phoning me. Now, my wife doesn't really phone me when I'm away. She's she gets my messages from my Garmin Mini InReach, and I might phone her, but she's usually busy doing other stuff. So I thought, why is Leanne phoning me? So I hung up on my sister. I thought I better phone Leanne back, and I'm glad that I did, because she answered and she was like, "Oh, just want to make sure you're okay." And I'm like, this is a bit weird. She doesn't usually phone me. She doesn't usually ask if I'm all right. I'm like, yes, I'm okay. Why is that? She goes, "Oh, I just need to tell the police." I'm like, what? So what had happened was the police had phoned the house last night, because my car, although I've got the details on the dashboard of where I am, there wasn't many cars in the car park at the National Trust Lors car park, and the ones that were there, I think it was camper vans and there was people there, but they couldn't account for me. Somebody had heard screams and whistles. I don't know, probably before I even started off, because I looked at the post. I'll put that up on the screen now. There is a post from Facebook from the Tayside Mountain Rescue Team, and there had been reports of a scream and then whistles from the Ann Stack area. Now, to give you a bit of context, over to my right there's two mountains, Ben Glass and then Ben Lord, and then the next one over, probably only about a kilometre as the crow flies, is a mountain called Ann Stack, which is a very steep-sided and can be dangerous mountain. So anyway, they were obviously just trying to account for everyone, all the vehicles, and I'm assuming there would have been vehicles down in the car park at the hotel on that side as well. So I quickly told Leanne to hang up on me and go and phone them back and tell them that I was okay and I was accounted for as well. So yeah, as I said, I looked on their page this morning and they were out last night, the mountain rescue, but didn't find anything, and I'm just hoping that is the case and it was just a mistaken sound. It is rutting season, so you do hear the stags bellowing. It does, they can make quite a noise. So yeah, that was my surprised phone call at about 9:30, 10ish last night. Yeah, as I said, I'm glad that I've got the Garmin InReach as well, because Leanne was able to tell them my coordinates straight off. When they phoned her before she'd phoned me as well. I did then get a missed call, very quick. It only rang once, so I'm just wondering if that was the mountain rescue or the police phoning my phone, and if it gets a signal, if they can then locate it to confirm where I was, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, let me know in the comments below if that's something that they possibly would have done, even though they would have had the coordinates from the Mini InReach. So, right, well, what can I say about the tent? I absolutely love it. It does, from this side, I think I said last night, it does look like a limpet. It's just stuck to the ground, and it's not so windy now, but there were certainly gusty winds when I went out for my pee last night. I would say 15-20 mile an hour winds, so typical Scottish weather. And yeah, it's big. It is a two-person tent, but and it's a bit heavier than what I'm used to. It took a bit longer to put up, but there's more to it. So that's that common sense would dictate that it would take longer to put up. Because of that, I will get better and quicker at getting it up, because that's what happens when you put tents up lots. You get to know how they go together. But I just really love it. It looks solid as a rock. There are these, again, if you're looking at purchasing, there are these little clips. There's 4 of them which clip the cross poles together, and that probably accounts for the extra stability. They can be a wee bitty stiff, but to clip into place. But yeah, it's really nice. There's more guy lines on it. Let me know. I'll probably do another kind of reviewish video on it once I've had it out a lot more. And let me know if you want me to do a comparison between this and the Scarp. They are 2 different tents, but they're the only tents that I'll have had experience using. So I could give you a kind of side by side Could I do a which is better? That's impossible to do, really. It's like comparing apples and oranges. But anyway, beautiful tent, and really, really happy with it. So hopefully you'll see it out and about lots over the coming winter. As I said, I have had it out on a multi-day adventure. I'll try and put some footage up. You've probably seen some of that footage already. An amazing, amazing trip, which again, as I said, because it's a longer trip, it'll take me longer to edit it. That one will be out at Christmas, I think, by the time I get around to it. But anyway, right. What I'll do is I'll actually time how long it takes me to take it down as well. I'm going to hang around for a wee while, just in case anything happens, but I really don't think the cloud's going to shift. Okay, right, it's absolutely freezing. My hands, I've got my gloves on. It's not as windy as it was last night, but I'm going to do the timer to see how long it takes me to get the tent down. So let's start that now. I've still to do all the guy lines and shut the doors and all that sort of stuff, so I'm going to include that in the time. So I'm going to start now. Let's go. Again, I wasn't rushing to get the tent down, although my fingers were starting to get numb because it was so cold, but I did try and tidy up all the guy lines, which took a bit of time, and then unpegged it and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, here's the time of me taking the tent down. Right, oh, my hands are a bit falling off. 16 minutes and 44 seconds it's taken me. Now I know I wrapped up all the guy lines, that would have saved me probably a good 6 or 7 minutes, but oh my god, the hardest part is putting it back in the bag, as is the case with all tents. So it took me longer to break it down than it did to put it up, believe it or not. So there you go. Right, I'm going to get going. There's nothing to see. Oh, and I never told you where I was. The summit, which is just there, is Mial Koreanic. And it's about, I don't know, it's just under 1,100 metres. And the reason that I chose this was, one, I was short in time, so you start quite high at the car park. It's about 450 metres. And it's maybe a 3 or 4 kilometre walk in. Another reason I chose it, which I alluded to last night, was it's quite a high, 1,100 metres here, so we're quite high. So if there was going to be an inversion, then there'd have been a good chance that this would have been above the inversion layer. But as it happens, we're not. But I don't think any of the hills in Scotland will be. So let's crack on down, and I'll bring you back down in the glen and give you an update and see whether my hands have defrosted. I do have some hand warmers with me, but I'm not going to deploy them. They're starting to warm up yet. It's not quite winter yet. Right, let's get this stuff away. Right, looks like the cloud. Oh, can you hear the stags down there? Anyway, looks like the cloud has lowered. Just didn't. The top of it was the bit that I was wanting to lower, but it obviously didn't. But anyway, back to the tent. Let's talk about cost. So none of these tents now are cheap. You can't, well, that's a lie, you can pick up cheap ones from places like Go Outdoors. Probably my Eurohike ones, which lasted me a long time. As long as you're, camping in fair weather. I'm not sure how those tents would handle, summit camps and strong winds. But anyway, they're all pretty expensive from the major manufacturers. Nothing's cheap now. My tent, so that Storm Star from QU cost me, I think, it was over £600. I think it was about £620. This is why I'm not a gear reviewer on YouTube. I can't remember the names of my sleeping pads. I think it was a Sea to Summit Etherlite, by the way. Anyway, and I can't remember or do my research before coming out, but that's not the real purpose of these videos. There's plenty of other videos out there. So that's another thing which has got to be taken into consideration, is the cost. But yeah, as I said, it was mainly on I had a short list of 3 or 4 tents. Some were like way too expensive, like over £1,000, which I think is just ridiculous. And God, those deer are making a hell of a racket. Anyway, which was too expensive for me. I'm not going to use them in, you know, essentially these £1,000 plus tents are bomb-proof and probably designed to be used in places like the Arctic or in going out in, or being caught out, to be fair, in stormy conditions. To be fair, that Stormstar I think would take quite a high wind if I was caught out. That's another thing to consider if you're doing a long distance trail. It was actually Ray that said this to me last week, and I thought that's a good point. Because I was saying, you know, part of mountaineering nowadays is probably being a good mountaineer is also being a good forecaster and looking at forecasts. And it's pretty hard to be caught out now if you're just going away for a couple of days, because the weather forecasts are pretty good. You know, if a storm's coming in, you're going to know about it. So if you're going out for a night and you're going out into a storm, you're going to know about it. So yeah, good mountaineering practice is probably being prepared and, you know, choosing your route and dependent on the weather and stuff like that, and also just not going to, I don't know, ridges or summit camps when it's stormy winds coming in. But anyway, that goes back to the really expensive ones. I'm hoping not to be caught out on top of a mountain in 70 or 80 mile an hour winds, because you get blown away. Another consideration was the weight. So all the ones I was looking at were pretty heavy in comparison to my Scarp. But again, that's just, you know, it's almost impossible to get a super lightweight one which is going to be as robust. Can you hear those stags, by the way? They're really trying to get in the video. Was the weight. But yeah, what it came down to was the four. I think it was the couple of Nortents actually, which were on the video last week. The Vardy one and the Vern one, and the Hilleberg Solo and the Stormstar. And the reason I went for the Stormstar was it just seemed to tick all the boxes. And Andrew Park from Andrew Park Outdoors YouTube channel, go and check it out, has done near on 200 reviews, 176 or 7 tents he's had. And this is one that he's kept, so to me that was a good sign as well. So far so good. Right, I'm kind of rambling on. Can't even see down there to show you the deer, but it's pretty manky, so apologies, this has been a bit of a rambling video, lots of talking. But yeah, back to normal next week. Thanks for watching, please stay safe out there. See you next week for another adventure. Right, back to the car.